I'm Darla Delayne, an advisor with Societygal, and we are here with two very special guests who I cannot wait to find out more about. They have a really special project that they're working on this year. So first, I want to introduce Diana and Reinhardt. Hello, so glad to have you guys.
Hi.
Hi. First, would you tell us a little bit about yourselves and what you do and kind of your background and how you guys kind of got started with this?
Okay. So I'm Reinhardt. Um, oh, I'm Reinhard Kenneth. I am a fashion and celebrity photographer, and now because of this video, director. And I am based in LA. I'm from Indonesia. And I've been doing this for almost 9 years now. And I guess one of the most important things that I've sort of learned this year was to create art that, of course, it has to be beautiful, but it has to be relevant towards what's happening to the world right now and feel hopeful and sort of have a message that serves bigger than just the aesthetics, I guess. So, yeah. And this is Diana, my mom. And yeah, she is a fashion designer. Um, she's been doing this for God knows how long, and she's a celebrity fashion designer. So she's dressed Ariana Grande, Lady Gaga, Janet Jackson, Nicki Minaj, and the list goes on. Carrie Underwood, Camila Cabello. She dressed Teeny Mai when she was interviewing Michelle Obama. She dressed a princess from Georgia, Princess Christine Deprecation, and she was actually named Best Designer by Couture Fashion Week New York in 2015. And I speak for her sometimes. So, yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, I had said earlier that I have been stalking both of your Instagrams, following and looking to see what you did. Diana, your creations are gorgeous art, so women
Thank
empowering, there's so much power behind them and beauty, and just I'm just totally in love with it all. So I just want to thank you for bringing that to the
you.
world. And Reinhard, I love your stuff. One of the things I used to I was an actress and a producer and director in New York City for a while, and so when Cho told me about that you had done a video that had to do with hope, I was so excited to see it. It is amazing. Um, Having been in that role as well, I know it's like you're creating a story, right, around what's happening. And the really cool thing about this is you're adding these gorgeous fashions in it that are really part of the story. Tell me how you came up with the idea to do this.
I guess it was a fashion film that was sort of born out of the insecurities and the rage and the just like the uncertainties of the world in this year. I feel I the whole thing came to me almost like in a vision, and right away I called my mom. I was like, we have to do this. Let's do this project. I wanted to feel like there's a ball in the apocalypse, and I want every girl to be very diverse, and I want every girl to represent a different tragedy in the world that's happening to the world, and obviously relevant to what's happening. So when I told her that, right away Thailand Fashion Week was reaching out to Diana and was offering her a slot to do a digital fashion show, meaning a virtual show with a fashion film. So everything sort of came into place together real quick.
Awesome.
And yeah, the rest has been history. And it was one of those things that really felt like it was God wanting it to happen. It was so meant to be.
Yeah.
And I wanted to make sure that coming into the project, we were all speaking through our language, me with directing it and photographing it, Diana with, obviously the fashion, the girls with the performance that they put together, the makeup, the hair, everything came together with everyone's different talents. And we came together united, no matter how different we are and no matter how different we might be raised, right? Like how
Right.
different our perspective was towards the world to create a peace that feels united. And I hope that comes true towards the world, because I feel like it's a peace that's bigger than all of us.
Yeah,
So, yeah.
this is such a time for that, with all the, the talk of the new age of Aquarius that has, come, and this, we're moving into this phase of this unity, with the highlight being each person's individuality, right? And that what they're saying as an individual, and that's what unites us. And even like today it's a full moon today, and there's all this energy of release. And so I thought it was super cool that we were going to be talking about this hope. In having hope, we have to let go of what has been not hopeful for us, but so that we don't drag that in. And this timing of this as we're heading into 2021 is so important, because so many things have happened this year, and we've got to acknowledge them and somehow give them a story. And to me, that's what your video did. It gave it a story, it acknowledged it, the tragedy next to the beauty, that kind of coming together. And then now we have 2021 coming. So what are you looking at for having this do for people for moving into 2021?
It's funny that you're talking about all the, like, the cosmic astral, like, world, because when I got the vision for this project, it was almost as if, like, I envisioned this sky that was lit red, right? Like, that was, like, on fire for the ending. And a week later, the fires actually
Fire
happened.
started. Oh my God.
So, it was not a good sign, but it was a sign for it to happen, for this
Right.
video to happen.
Like a confirmation.
Exactly. But moving on to what's been happening for the last week, I mean, I don't know if you are aware, but they just announced that, on the 21st, there was the Star of Bethlehem, the Christmas
Yes.
star,
Yes.
right? No matter what you believe in, in the Bible, it was said that that star brought the three maids towards baby Jesus, and that speaks about hope, right? Because
Yes.
baby Jesus was the hope that was, like, bringing what was brought into this world, right? So looking into that, I really hope this is a sign for healing. I hope this is a sign that, a star that only appears every 800 years,
Right.
and the three maids was following into, a new beginning, a new, almost like a new Genesis. And I want 2021 to feel hopeful and a year of a lot of healing, I think. So, and I hope the video somehow gets lost in translation and becomes a part of it, because then again, like I said, the video isn't just about the fashion. It's not just
Right.
about the visual. It's not just about the drama. It's about the message. I think.
Well, and
That's
I think
important.
too, it's about the fact that you both have continued to create during this time, when so many people were so in shock about what was happening that they shut down. You two both continued to create in such a higher level, right? And so it's this kind of ahead of the wave. There's going to be a lot of people writing things about this year. There's going to be a lot of film. There's going to be a lot of different ways that artists are going to do that. But here you are, we're still in 2020, and you've already created something, right? You're already ahead of that. So it kind of could be something that sets the tone for other creators to give their perception of how this year has gone and how it could be hope. I could see, someone writes some poetry based on what they saw in your video, and saying it in word, and maybe someone in music, and someone else could, have something. But it's like a catalyst to be able to encourage other people to be able to say that. I'm a coach and a master teacher, and so I concepts, but even as I was watching your video, it was like certain concepts were coming to mind for me to teach other women about, because that's what I do. So I just think that's kind of cool that you already are reflecting and beginning to move forward. Like, you're not waiting till, oh, everything's okay now let's go back. Because I don't know, I kind of think sometimes when we do that, we don't acknowledge soon enough, and we kind of carry it around with us. And this has already gotten to think that we're still in 2020 and you're already sending a message of hope that we can make through it is really ahead of the curve, right?
Yeah, and I think the most important thing about the hope itself in the video is not just like, oh, there will be a light of hope, we'll be fine. No, in the end of the video, the sky's on fire, right? But the
Yeah.
girls were together and they were united, and that itself is the empowerment, right?
Yes.
Originally, there was supposed to be this light coming through, but when I saw the two different versions, I was like, we have to keep it just the
It had
fire
to be
because
that,
the
right?
girls were the light. The girls were the light. The fashion was the light. Everything was the light. And when you see these very diverse group of girls that, you know, maybe went into the project not knowing each other, but going out of it, you know, like knowing each other and acknowledging what happened, you know, to their communities and everything. I think that's what's so important, because in the end of the day, it's, of course it's about their identity, but when you see them like side by side,
Together. Mm-hmm.
that is acknowledging that yes, they're black, yes, they're white, yes, they're Asian, yes, they're Middle Eastern, yes, they're cis, yes, they're trans, yes, they're everything that they are. And you know, I think instead of being colorblind, we are acknowledging that the world is a beautiful place and we should see it as it is.
Right.
And
The
yeah.
uniqueness is what the beauty is. It's like if everybody looks the same and is all the same, then there's no way to differentiate. And the differences are what really brings out the beauty in that. I think too, that's really cool about, I know for me personally, my own journey this year has been about no matter the condition, I wasn't going to allow the conditions to whip me around and control me. I was going to have my own control over how I felt no matter what was happening. And that's kind of, you know, it's still like a fire, it's still burning behind them, but they're there and they're strong. And so it doesn't matter. I know even like here in the US with the politics that were going on and people were so afraid about what's happening. And it was like, it's going to be, we will each as an individual be okay because inside our soul is okay. And we will be all right. And that's kind of what I was thinking as I was watching, like, as they're going through it, they're afraid, but in the end, they knew that they were all right, even though it was still going on. And so what do you feel about that kind of a message on, you know, no matter what's happening, you're still all right? Was that part of what you were wanting to say in that?
Yeah, yeah. I feel like a big part of it was like, in the end of the day, we're all still alive. We're going through this together. And I feel like there is that common thread that we're all alive, but we're all suffering, right? And
Right.
yeah, Mom, would you like to add anything?
Maybe you speak for me, Coco.
Yeah, I think, yeah, there is that common thread that we're all okay, right? We're all surviving. We're all going through the same experience, right? Because I'm in LA, my mom's in Indonesia, I
Right.
have family in China, in Europe, and you know, all over the world. And even and we're all going through it together, right? Like we're all going through it. You know, obviously one country would do better, the other country would do worse, you know. But I think it's a lot of like, I think this is like the first time the world's actually going through the same like
Exactly.
bullshit together, you
Yes.
know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everywhere. It's
Yeah.
like it's not a regional thing that's happening or a
Yeah.
certain type of something that's happening. It's everyone. And I think that's what's so beautifully portrayed in your video as well. It was like with all the diversity, then it became everyone.
Yeah.
It was representing that everyone.
Yeah.
What do you have any upcoming projects or things that you're working on, or do you have any further ideas about what you want to do with this video or any others that you're thinking about doing?
I think I really want to pitch it for a fashion film festival, and
I
it's
love that.
very, it's like
I was
it's
going
in
to
the
ask
very
you that.
early stages.
Yeah.
So hopefully maybe, you know, but like next projects, I for sure want to like carry on the spirit of 2020, and that is creating art that's hopeful, creating art that serves a higher purpose, creating art that's kind, you know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've been reading a lot about like the book of Revelation lately. So maybe something related to that. I think there's a lot of beauty in destruction, and there's a lot of beauty in acknowledging that maybe the world is not what it was, but this world will heal, and this world will find its light again one way or
Yeah.
another.
And there's a
And
lot of
maybe that's through
symbolism.
kindness. Yeah.
There's a
Yeah.
lot of beautiful symbolism in that book, in the book of Revelation, and in
Yeah.
what's happening right now. There's
Yeah.
a lot of symbolism about certain structures and foundations that are being torn down, others
Yeah.
that will need to be built because it's going to be necessary, and the pain that people go through, the grieving of losing something. Even if it wasn't good, we still grieve it because it was just what we knew. And even though
Exactly.
there can be something better, but we're all kind of going through that. That's an awesome, I haven't thought about the book of Revelation with this. That's really a cool idea.
I think the most important thing for us too is like, yes, we are creating a fashion piece, which fashion equals to glamour, equals to privilege, right? But we want to portray what's happening to the world right now without glamorizing anyone's pain, without glamorizing what's happening, but instead acknowledging it, right? Like I
Yes,
was talking
yeah,
to
you don't ignore
Jasleen.
it. Yeah,
Exactly. I was talking to Jasleen on the video, who out of all the girls, she was actually the one that actually went through shit.
okay.
And this is a trans girl that got assaulted in
Oh,
Hollywood.
Lord.
And when I talked to her, I was like, I don't want to glamorize your pain. I just want to bring this into the light. And she was like, no, 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 no. Like, this is me sharing my story
Right.
and hopefully talking to other, young trans girls out there. And, I feel like giving a giving a platform and a voice to people who are oppressed, I think that speaks volumes in its own, hopefully,
Yeah,
because I in the end of the day, like I said before, this is not about like, oh, pretty dresses running down the hallway. Like, yeah, of course that's my language, that's a drama, that's what I like, that's what I can bring. I can't do a manifesto on the White House. That's not my language.
right,
um but
right.
yeah, and then the same thing with like Diana, right? Like I
Yes.
told her this is the concept, and then she whipped out all the bodysuits, all the trains, all the this, all the that, And Mom, do you want to speak a little bit about the process of making the dresses, or the
First,
concept or idea?
the making of the 13 outfits, it's
Yeah.
only 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh.
Yeah. And I did it in a pandemic situation, which must be social distancing for
Yes.
all my workers.
Wow. Wow, that's amazing. Well, it was a very clear vision from Reinhardt too, right? Like you knew kind of the direction you were going to go with it.
Yeah, I guess in the end of the day, it's really about I walked out of the shoot, and there were little hiccups here and there, but like when I saw the video, I didn't really see, oh, I wanted to do this and I wanted to do that, and I wish I did this and I wish I didn't do this. But when I saw it, I felt the pain, I felt the love, I felt the kindness, I felt the unity, I felt the hope, right? And I
Right.
guess that's what's so important for me, because of course the hair and makeup did a fantastic job, of course the fashion was phenomenal, of course the shoes and the mask and the lighting and everything was beautiful. But to me, it was the girls telling the story that was so relevant. And in the end of the day, because I casted the girls, right, I sort of
Right.
like found the girls,
You did.
and I think that was what really made the video,
That's
hopefully.
happened, I think, for me more this year than any year. Is I have been privy to hearing stories from people that they wouldn't have said before had things not been happening. Like they were sharing, I've had, friends from all different walks of life and all different situations, share things and then I've known some of these people for a long time, and they were sharing things I'd never heard before because of what was going on. So I think the more we're doing that in sharing those stories, then there's understanding, there's compassion. And then for the people that are like that, they see themselves in someone else. I think that's kind of one of the strongest things about film, is being able to see your story through someone else. And now you don't feel alone, and now you're connected. So there's a connection with compassion as well as seeing yourself in that. And I think the high fashion piece of it is, to me, as a woman who loves high fashion, it raises my energy vibration, right? When I see it, it makes me, it's like, it's so beautiful, and it's something I don't do. So I can't imagine having the mind that would come up with those creative ideas. And it's so beautiful, and it tells such a story that it raises our vibration. So here we are looking at this beautiful, beautiful fashion with our vibration raised. So we're much more attentive to what's being said in the video. We can listen, we can hear with an open heart what your girls are saying, what the women are saying there, and what their stories are. And I just love how it all came together like that. I think this is an art form that needed to be born, that you birthed, right? Is this real storytelling, putting that together with true stories that you're telling. And in this way, with the fashion and the way that your experience as a fashion photographer and how that looks, and how to really get the picture of the clothes as well as of the girl, is just like super, super awesome. It really felt like the birth of a new medium in that. And then when you said, thinking about a film, I've been involved in film festivals, I had short films and film festivals and done all that. And my thought was like, oh yeah, because then we can't go to runway shows. Like, what are we gonna, like that? Oh my gosh, it's digital. And that's just like so cool. I have in Southern California, in Temecula, there is a studio there, JDS Creative Academy, and I'm on the board, and they hold a digital festival every year. And I was like, I've got to tell them this, because this would be an awesome addition, is fashion, digital fashion. It's like to be able to see it in that way, not just as costuming in a film, but as fashion. They had fashion classes there. So it just got me thinking of other things too. So it's like it already got me inspired in ways of things that I knew. But I think mostly it was the story. The stories were so clear. It was so true and so clear. I would love to see another one from you like this.
Yes, we would love that.
Yeah, that would have another, like a continuing of the story, or the next, like who knows what's happening in 2021, right? So that would be like super cool to do.
No, thank you so much for all the support. And the way I really see it is like, because this is my directorial debut. I've never directed anything. I didn't go to film school. I didn't do any of this. I'm strictly a photographer, but not anymore, I guess. I don't know, but we are, oh, yeah, ma'am. We are creating like a serial.
Yeah, absolutely.
No, but we are creating almost like a surreal world, right? It's like it's I guess the fashion is the surrealism itself, because it's not surreal in the way Dolly is, which I love Dolly, but it's like we're entering a room of consciousness, and these girls are like bearing it all, but like then you see like the earrings, or like the bodysuit, or like the hair.
Yeah.
And I think that's what's so beautiful, because it's like, I think fashion could really truly speak volumes. And I'm not talking about like a shirt that says, kindness or something, because that's cheesy. But like, I'm talking about, elevating, because the thing is like, you look at a Diana Couture show, or a Jean Paul Gaultier, or an Alexander McQueen, right? And then you look at the girls, and sometimes the presentation is so over the top, and people would be like, okay, where would I wear this, right? But it's like with this kind of like presentation, it's like you're looking at the girls wearing something, telling a story. So that sort of eliminates the like, oh, where do I wear this? But it sort of brings it to a form where it's like, okay, like this makes sense, but this is also high fashion and not like
Yes.
costume. And I
Yes.
don't know. It's like a list
Well,
of
and I
things.
think we're really
Yeah.
hungry for that. Those of us that love fashion, because it's like, yeah, we've been doing some waist up fashion, but we haven't been like, I haven't gotten to put my boots on that have the high heel and are over my knee because I'm walking around my house all the time. It's like, I miss it. I miss my fashion moments, right? And so it's kind of like I was living a little vicariously through them in the video, and it wasn't just a runway. It was in a life, right? It was in that life instead. And I think we're so hungry for that right now, having to have been home so much.
I think it's also finding like that fashion and that light and that art inside of us. And I know
Yes.
that sounds weird, but
No,
it's
it
like,
doesn't. It's that,
you know,
yes, absolutely.
yeah.
Well, and that's what's opening. When your heart opens, when you have compassion for people, when you hear stories, you have more understanding of them. That's where art comes from, is in the heart. And when we've got our hearts closed and we're just out there doing all this, massive action, doing our work and not with our mind and not our heart, we're not aware. And I think this year has broken a lot of us open and released our heart again. And this is a way for us, we start becoming more inspired, and more art can be done, because that's where it comes from. It comes from in the heart.
Mom, do you want to add anything about what you think about the video, or like the concept, or the girls, or anything?
Yeah, about the inspiration, I got the inspiration. It's the beauty of hope in a hopelessness.
Yeah.
That's inspiration.
Yeah, there's a big difference in what it would look like without hope, right? like where is beauty without hope?
Yeah.
Right?
And I think for the first time, it's like why it's so relevant and strong too is because we didn't have to make believe. We didn't have
Right.
to, oh, it's like a fairy tale, or it's a sci-fi, or this or that. No, it was what's happening to the world right now.
It was
We
this
didn't have to fake
artistic,
it. Yeah.
an artistic documentary, really.
Yeah, in a way.
Right?
Sort
Yeah.
of. Yeah.
You were documenting their lives, what's happened and what's happened in the world, in a really surreal, artistic way, which makes it easier to listen to watch. Even though there's pain, there was that juxtaposition of the beauty with it, which made it where we could watch even more. So, wow. Oh my God, this is so awesome. I feel really honored to have been able to talk with both of you today, and super excited to see what we are going to be able to do to really move this forward, move the message forward through this video, and what we're going to be able to do with this. Is there anything else that you guys would like to add?
Mom, do you want to add anything about the video or the girls?
Please, me, Coco. You can say a lot.
I guess the most important thing to me right now, as an artist, as a human being, and for Diana as well, I think is just to be kind and to be hopeful, and to remember that, you know, the person you are today wouldn't be the person you are today without the help of other people. And I think we tend to, you know, in a world where we have to be distant, where we can't be side by side and hug each other and laugh together, we have to remember that kindness truly prevails all. And you know, maybe we are sending virtual love to each other, but it's real, right?
It is. Yeah.
I hope that this video is a reminder to everyone that when you're united, it's actually our country's motto, which is Bineka Tunggal Ika, which means unity and diversity. And you know, I think the most important thing is to remember that no matter what your skin color is, your background, your upbringing, your religion, your gender, you know, everything that sort of applies to what makes you you, I think we should just, for once, obviously acknowledge that other people have other tribulances they go through because of their identity, obviously. But once you treat it the way you treat each other, I think it should be equal. I really, really think it should be equal. And I think equality and love and kindness is what the world really needs right now. And, of course, I want to go back to normal, but normal was never normal.
Yeah,
We
right.
need to be kinder, and I think this is a wake-up call to be kinder and to have a purpose. No matter who you are, no matter how small it is or big it is, having a purpose into being a catalyst towards kindness and compassion and hope and unity and all those other beautiful things, and especially love. I think having that purpose, it's truly what's important. And I hope this project and this year and the upcoming years, opens a lot of eyes, no matter
I think
how.
it will. I really think it will. It's that I so agree with you in that it's this loving kindness that we kind of took for granted before. And now, like you said, we're sending it, but it's really got to be sent through our energy, right? It has to be sent through that love energy, and that's where we're getting it back. But this was just amazing. Thank you both so much for being with us. We are honored to be a part of what you're doing here, and wish you all the best. And I can't wait to see your next project.
Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely, absolutely.
That was good. That was amazing. Reinhardt, Diana, you did a fantastic job with him. He is not only talented, but very wise too. So
Yes, yes.
thank
Hi.
you. You did a great
Sorry,
job with him.
I froze her.
Froze,
Yeah.
yeah.
No, thank
I was
you.
just tooting your horn, Reinhardt.
You
mom
looked great
is-
in that frozen state. Like it was
Yes,
like a
you looked
good like
amazing.
I've gotten frozen before. My face is like doing something really weird.
I loved the message was beautiful. I loved how it all tied in together. And, Reinhardt, that vision, and even at the end when you said that you wanted to keep the sky red because the beauty was in the women together and how we're all different, but we're still holding strong with one another. That was the whole message. And I think that's beautiful.
Yeah.
And I was just telling your mom what a great job she did with you. And
Yes, you did, Mom.
you guys are a power team. I'm also like very honored that, Reinhardt, thanks for reaching out and allowing us to be able to do this feature on you guys. You guys are phenomenal. Thank you so much for the work that you guys did.
You.
Thank you. You really appreciate it. And when Diana's here, we all need to do brunch or drinks.
Yes, we definitely do. We definitely do. When COVID is over,
Yeah.
hope is coming. It's gonna be
Yeah.
here soon.
Yeah, for sure. I hope this video and this interview gets out there, not for selfish reasons, but for for the message, because
Yeah.
I think that's
love
the
that.
star of the show. It's no one but the message.
The message
And
is amazing.
for the first time, I've never done anything so selfless for anyone before. So selfless for anyone, as in like the whole project is so selfless, right? Like no one's like,
but in that
so I think,
space, that's where, you said you kind of got the download. I do that in my work. I'm like, I woke up at 4:30 the other morning and I knew exactly what the next thing I was going to write about and the next thing that I was going to do. And when you're open like that, in that selfless love, that's when you can just let, universe, spirit, God come through you and do your work. But I have to say, I've been in entertainment and directing and producing and acting for years. And for a first project, that was amazing.